Hi, I'm the Beauty Professor, and you can find my beauty blog at www.beautyprofessor.net. Today I will be doing a review and tutorial focused upon the Chanel 2013 fall collection, specifically the Blush Creme de Chanel. And I bought 3 of these little compacts in 3 different colors. And so I'll go ahead and discuss the formula, I'll swatch the 3 blushes, and then I'll show you how I like to apply, at least in this moment, 2 of them. So currently on my face, in terms of cosmetics, I am wearing the Kanebo Sensai Cellular Cream Foundation in Natural Beige. I also have on a touch of the Chanel Cream Blush in Destiny, which I'll be showing you how to apply more. I just put a tiny bit on for the video, and then I have left a reserve so that I can add more. And then on my eyes, I'm wearing the By Terry Ombre Black Star in Bronze Moon, number 4, one of my all-time favorites, go-to shadow, single eye look in like 3 seconds. And then finally, I'm wearing on my eyes the Chanel Le Volume Mascara, which probably deserves its own review. And on my lips, I have Beauty is Life lip color in Cosmopolitan. I do have swatches of this in a review on my blog. I think I did one last summer, so I love this formula in this shade. On to the blushes. So these blushes are housed in a small compact, and they retail for $38. Now the Chanel Fall 2013 collection has been getting a lot of buzz on the internet and also in person. I know counters have been selling out of these blushes since their release early last week. Inside the compact, you'll see a pan of cream color, and for this example, currently I'm showing you Inspiration, which is a very pale baby pink. And the consistency of this cream blush is very silky and rather demi-matte in finish. And I'll show you what I mean when I go ahead and swatch it, and also when I apply it on my face. In other words, it's not an inordinately glowy cream blush, and oftentimes cream formulas tend to have a propensity towards glowiness. I would say that in contrast to something like the Cream Fresh tints from Le Métier de Beauté I've often spoke about, Mystique, which is one of my favorites. This is less glowy for certain. It does not impart the same amount of radiance, but that does not take away from its overall beauty. It's pigmented, and so with the light hand you get a very flushed cheek, perhaps contour based on the shade that you choose to use, and it dries down to a finish that stays put, and I really appreciate that about this formula. So let's take a closer look at what these blushes look like. This, as I've said, is Inspiration, and it does have that strange kind of dotted texture right now because I do use a stippling brush, and this is the one I've used most often, so it's already created an indentation. But when I finish my blog post on this blush, you'll see some completely unsullied pictures of the blush before I used it. So that will give you a sense of what it looks like if you were to purchase it and look at it brand new. So Inspiration swatched looks like this. And that's it on my wrist. This is actually very true to life lighting right now, so you're getting a good sense of what this is. It's a baby pink. It's not inordinately pale, meaning that if you put it on, it does impart a nice pigmented flush, but it is pale enough that somebody who might have a heavy hand with blush won't come out of this looking really obvious and inappropriate. So I like this color. It's probably why I've been using it so much, because it is so pale yet pigmented. On to the next shade, which in this case is Revelation. And this is the shade I actually saw in Cafe Makeup first off last week, and I thought this is the color I must have. Certainly, I'm glad I've purchased it, but you can tell just right from the pan that I've barely used it, just swatched it thus far. I'm waiting for the perfect moment to put this on my cheeks, and I haven't found it yet. So, Revelation is kind of a peachy, corally pink. Here it is right here, and then I'll go ahead and swatch it right next to Inspiration so you can see the difference. They might feel like the same shade until you see them in tandem, side by side, and you go, wow, those are not the same colors whatsoever. So here we have Inspiration on top and Revelation below. That's definitely a blushier, coralish peach pink, deeper. And I'm going to make sure that when I apply it very lightly so that I don't overdo it. Last but not least of the three that I purchased, and I do believe there are 6 shades overall as options, many of them the darker pink or reddish family that I did not embrace. This is Destiny, and I'm showing you Destiny in its case because it does come, like many Chanel products, in a beautiful velvet sheath. I tend to take it out of the sheath when I toss this in my makeup bag just because I find that the cases tend to collect lint, but it is beautiful product presentation, so I wanted to give you a glimpse of what that looked like. So Destiny is a tannish tone, tan beige, and I initially thought, no, there's no way I'm going to get this color. I don't need it. It probably will do the same thing as Tom Ford's Shade and Illuminate in Intensity 01, which I use all the time to create contour. And then I thought about it again and went back and picked it up because with summer upon us, I'm always looking for interesting ways of enhancing a tan on my face, especially because I don't get any actual sunlight on my face ever. So I thought Destiny might be a nice investment. Swatched, you can see that it is a very creamy nude tan, and it doesn't go on orange in any way, shape, or form, and I'm thankful for that. But interestingly, it does create a rather healthy glow. Here it is on the wrist. So we've got Inspiration, Revelation, Destiny. And certainly this is swatched quite heavily, so you can shear this out. Now, I'm wearing some on my cheeks right now, and I applied it much like I would a contour, like the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate. I'll go ahead and add a tiny bit more, just so you can see how I would do this. Today, I'm working with my Sephora Angled Synthetic Brush. This is number 130. I use it all the time when I'm using a cream product to create contour. And what I'll go ahead and do is just dip this. It's quite pigmented, so I'm not going to want to overload my brush here. Dip it onto the brush, and then I'll go ahead and suck in my cheeks and add the contour. All right, so you can see it creates a really healthy glow, yet a believable contour on the face. It kind of enhances the shape and the lines of one's face. And so it's multi-purpose in that regard. I suppose you could wear it as an overall wash of color to get tan all over the face. I have not yet tried that, but I'd be interested in how that would turn out. Now on to what I would do with Inspiration, which is the pink blush. Certainly after I've done a contour, I like to add a little bit of pinky color to the apples of my cheeks. Today I'm working with my e.l.f. powder brush. This is a steel, and I use it as a stippling brush for cream products. So often I use it with my La Metier de Beauté Cream Fresh Tint for lips and eyes. But I love this brush because it's got a flat top. I think I picked it up for somewhere around $3 at Target. So definitely worth it if you stumble upon it. Onto the blush. So I take my stippling brush in this case. I'm going to lightly tap it into the Inspiration and then smile so I can hit the apples of my cheeks. Now notice I'm not adding more product as I continue going back from cheek to cheek. I'm merely spending time buffing it and stippling it into my skin so it gets the most natural finish possible and also has a better chance of longevity. And there you can see the finish. It's got a nice pink sheen now, but all three of these blushes, interestingly enough, do not have an ounce of shimmer. They're all matte and creamy, and so even though you get a nice glow, it's not because of any shimmer particles. Overall, I am really pleased with my Chanel cream blush purchases. These 3 compacts are products that I know I will use all summer long in different ways, shapes, and forms, and I can't wait to create some looks with these that are specific to their individual shades. In the meanwhile, I've been carrying around Destiny and Inspiration in my makeup bag because I find the combination of the two, as I've demonstrated today, creates both contour and then a nice pinky flush. In terms of lasting power, if they've been stippled into the face appropriately, I find that you get a good 6 to 8 hours of wear. It does not migrate on the face, it doesn't pool, it doesn't get cakey or sticky or patchy, and that is definitely a benefit of this particular formula. For those of us with very sensitive skin, I'm happy to report that this formula is unscented, and I've worn it for the last week and a half and haven't experienced any adverse effects in terms of breakouts or clogged pores. I hope you enjoyed this review and tutorial, and I'd love to hear what products you have on your must-have list from the Chanel 2013 fall collection, or maybe what products you've picked up. As always, I welcome your questions and your comments and invite you to please visit me at my beauty blog, Beauty Professor, which can be found at www.beautyprofessor.net. Take care.